on the call, which is wonderful to see. Hello, hello. I'll let Aaron start off to introduce himself so we can start this wonderful session today. Oh, Aaron, you're on mute.
Always the case. Okay. Well, thank you. Welcome today, everybody. Hope we're able to provide you some great information about attending a business school, or if you're interested in majoring in business, going to a school that offers you a business degree. I'm Aaron Wilbarger, the Director of International Programs here at Oklahoma City University.
And hello, everyone. My name is Ana Luisa Teodoro. I'm the International Recruitment Specialist at St. Francis College, and it's my joy and my pleasure to not only share a little bit more about our university with you and about studying business, but also what is it like to do all of this as an international student, especially. So to take it away, we're going to start off with a little bit of the presentation, have some room up for Q&A at the end. Also, if you feel free to ask questions throughout our presentation, and towards the end, we'll be able to answer it. This is your time to get answers from us.
All right, well, let me start with the presentation here. So here we are. You're wanting to know about what you can do to go into a business program, and we're very specific because we're two U.S. schools, but we're going to mostly be talking about for U.S. But you're going to get some general ideas if you go abroad to anywhere. Just understand that most of what we're talking about could be more related to the U.S. Okay. So this is what we're going to be kind of emphasizing today. Is we're going to prepare you, or kind of talk to you about how to prepare yourself to go to the U.S., choosing the right school, talking about the admission requirements, and then kind of the do's and don'ts of what to do, what to not do. And then we'll get into kind of our own personal campus highlights of our programs with the business. Take it away, Anna.
Of course. So when we're thinking about why a business degree, and also the difference between that, the undergraduate and graduate level, the very first thing to know is we got to prepare some travel. You're leaving your country to come all the way over here to study. We got to have some things in mind. So at the undergraduate level, talk with your sponsors. So before we even, at this point, before we even go over what about this specific program, or what about this school that has some appealing interests, let's think overwhelmingly so. How do we make this possible? First, talk to your sponsors, whether it's you, your family member, or a collection of sponsors that are going to be assisting you. Talk to them about what traveling abroad looks like for you financially and also socially. Adapting to COVID-19. Are your embassies open? Every single one of you should probably give a call to your embassy and say, hey, are you accepting student visa appointment interviews? What are the travel restrictions for your specific country when it comes to boarding a plane? Do you have to get multiple tests? And additionally, the university that you're attending, what are their COVID restrictions looking like? And additionally, research. Look at the business degrees that are offered at different universities. While the degree itself might be the same, the way that the program is tailored and also different opportunities that are available to you are going to be different from each different place. There's not a one-size-all business degree that's going to fit everybody. It's mostly what's going to work best for you. Be prepared for some schools if they have interviews. I know my university, St. Francis, does not do interviews. Aaron, you could talk a little bit about your admissions process for business as well, but be prepared to talk to a counselor about your experience.
That's right. So, and there are differences between if you're an undergraduate student versus a graduate. There'll be certain documents, obviously, at the graduate level that are more there that you may need to provide than at the undergraduate level. And then there are some situations where you may be getting into you may be accepted into the school, but you also need to make sure that you're accepted into like the business school. So really with this, we're mostly just giving you an idea of like Anna was saying, research before you just kind of jump right on in. Make sure you're preparing yourself for what's going on.
And then additionally, just a quick note, at the graduate level, just know that things tend to be a little bit more competitive because graduate programs have limited seats, where at the undergraduate level, it's more flexibility in terms of onboarding. And Speaking of all this, what is the right school for you? Business degrees exist in various types of different university. And again, it's not that there's one size fits all. It's what university is going to be a better fit. And Aaron, you can speak to that a little bit more.
Right. So in the United States, there are tons of universities and colleges all around the United States. And just kind of like with all these schools, just there's different sizes as far as the class size, towards big size classrooms to smaller classrooms. There's also what we have called like what we call community colleges, which are the colleges, your technical schools. You have ones that just provide like a baccalaureate, your private, public institutions, research institutions, master granting towards just a bachelor's granting. You have military schools, tribal universities, you know, all these different things are different types of universities that may have a business degree. But you need to kind of consider thinking about that because they can be very different. Just like how Anna was saying, you have each program could be as tailored or criteria towards a certain type of way of structure of teaching. And so those are always important things. Also, when you're looking at schools, you're going to notice different funding. You know, what funding do you have that you can provide, you know, that you can spend on getting your degree? Getting a degree in the US, I'll start off just by this, is not necessarily cheap. You're going to be spending quite a bit of money, but do understand this is an investment that you're putting forth into your funds to either advance you if you're a master's degree, or if you're just now starting out of high school, towards getting started, getting that foundation to get that job.
And additionally, some things to keep in mind when we think about cost. So as an international student, you have to keep in mind costs associated with getting your visa, as well as personal and living expenses of the place that you're living in. So remember to keep all of this in mind, but ultimately, one really good thing to note is that you all pursuing business degrees, there tends to be a lot, especially in metropolitan areas, many opportunities for you to apply for OPT, on-site practical training, which is allowed for work off campus, as well as CPT, current practical training, where there's a lot of different avenues for you as students to get that hands-on experience and also employment with this degree. So as Aaron said, it's an investment that ultimately does pay off.
That's right. We're going to kind of hit you with all these things that you got to be thinking about, but and then towards the end, we'll kind of sum it up and give you guys good ideas on what you need to be doing. But there's a lot of things. I mean, even the application process could be different from school to school. And we'll kind of go a little bit more into this, but also like Anna was talking about the job placement. Where does this university help you with job placements? And then also really that kind of last bullet point there is return on your investment. Going to a particular school, you're going to be spending, like what we talk about, quite a bit of money. So you want that return on investment. So you want that good school that kind of helps you along.
That is right. How do we research to find your destination? So some things to keep in mind before you even commit to a school is you're looking at funding. Are you on your end going to be able to provide for your education, as well as scholarship? What are the universities doing for you? As an international student, this is overwhelmingly across the board within the United States, federal aid. So you're going to hear something called financial aid, which is money that is given from the government to students, is not eligible for international students since you don't have citizenship within the country. But you are eligible for scholarship, and all universities do their absolute best to offer scholarships, whether it's automatic or forms of competition, to their international students, as well as location. Do you want to live in a big city? Do you want to live in a smaller place? I would arguably say that more metropolitan, also college-based towns do have a booming business area in terms of what we can do for you and resources and internships. If you are somebody that's looking for something a little bit more rural, that is not to say there aren't those opportunities there. It truly is dependent on what works best for you, as well as costs with and without scholarship. Do you require to pay a fee when you apply? Do you require a TOEFL, a GMAT? And then some other miscellaneous things is safety. How comfortable do you feel in the area? Job placement, upon graduation, will you be able to get a job in the area? Or are you looking to go back home? And then also, a big point that Aaron mentioned, return on your investment. Is this program well suited enough to your needs and the opportunities they provide to you to be able to make this big cost and big commitment?
That's right. Yeah. So these are all kind of some things that when we're talking about funding, your location, the cost, safety, job placement, return on investment, these are all things to be considered when you're actually, not necessarily when you're already out there applying. I mean, these are kind of things that you kind of want to have a good idea on before you even start applying. But as you're searching and researching for that school, these are kind of some things you want to keep in mind. So along with that, you do have like your programs and your majors. So a lot of times, some things that you do want to be careful about is to make sure that you're getting the program that you're really wanting. And do understand that universities can name programs differently, but it's the same thing. Let's say if we're doing like you're wanting to know about HR, human resource management program, or something that there could be just the university may call it just management, but you're getting that human resource management program, or supply chain management, stuff like that. All those can be incorporated within management. So do understand, and this is where we talk about, or we will be talking about quite a bit, is talk with that school to make sure this is what's the curriculum that's being offered within that program. And then I kind of really do emphasize on campus size because everybody loves the great big universities and the well-known universities. And that's right. Those are really good schools. It's very hard to find just a terribly disappointing school in the US. I'm sure they're out there, but we're definitely not one. But so there are some sizes that you do want to consider. Some students are very comfortable being in a large setting where there's 80, 90 to 100 some odd students within one classroom. And then some students may not necessarily feel that they're getting that connection with what's going on, or may need a little bit more assistance, or just really doesn't want to be in that size of classroom. Smaller classes, smaller university may be your option. Just remember, it's up to you on your comfort level on what you're wanting to kind of get into. And then what is right for your college? This is something that Anna and I will probably go into more, but as students, just because your friends may go to a particular university doesn't necessarily mean that university is awesome for you. They may have their own influence of why they're going to that particular university, whereas that may be different from you. It's great to have friends and follow friends to schools, but what you don't want to get into is a situation where you did follow your friend to school, but ultimately you're just struggling within your class. You can have fun while you're at school, but within your class, that's kind of the more important things, because if you're not doing the grades, you're not going to remain at that school. So really picking what school is good for you, the market rates. A lot of times students care about rankings. I would say don't get stuck too much on rankings, because there's rankings for everything. Every program, every school, and then they divide those out into different regional areas, to private, to public, to colleges, to universities. There's a ranking for everything. So, but do understand that, if you're a person that's looking for ranking, that may be something that you might do.
Exactly. I think to move forward a little bit, Aaron.
Sure. All right.
All right, the admissions process. I'm sure many of you are sitting here going, but how do I apply? How do I get into the school? Know that all of you as an international student, your biggest qualifying factor is, do you require a student visa or not in order to study? Some of you may have already obtained a student visa from another school. Wonderful. All of you are seen as international students, and your process to apply differs a little bit in big ways than the domestic population. First thing to know is, what is your student type? Are you a freshman student, a transfer student, a graduate student? A student athlete can fall into any of those categories, but it's kind of to know what are you coming into the school that we can use you as. Know who is eligible for what. There might be certain scholarships that are only available to freshmen that you as a graduate student applying for are not available to apply for. Vice versa. Know what kind of student you are. And if you're unsure, just ask. We as admissions counselors and also directors, our job is to help you. You can always ask us questions, and I'm sure that everybody across the board and all the different institutions that you're looking at will be willing to help you. Is your application online or would you have to mail in? The majority of you will be doing online applications. And what official documentation in terms of transcripts, test scores, do you need, and what is the time frame? I would love if every single person on this call invested in a really nice calendar and put all of your dates and deadlines on there. It's very, very important. Some schools tend to be a little bit more strict. Some of them tend to be a little bit more flexible with their deadlines. Rule of thumb, always try to submit things early and know what documentation that you need. If you're concerned, all you have to do is ask.
That's right. I'll chime in just a little bit. So do understand that, and I can keep going. I do want to emphasize that timing is very important. Many schools have deadlines as far as when you're eligible to apply, not only with deadlines to get admitted, but also deadlines for scholarships. So some schools don't have deadlines at all. Some schools do. So it really depends upon the type of school that you're attending or that you're wanting to apply towards on what is the deadline. And there can be lots of things. There could be a deadline as far as getting your application in, but then another deadline as far as turning in all your documents, or a deadline towards a particular type of scholarship and then each scholarship may have deadlines. So these are all different things that you do need to kind of look at when you're applying. And then as we're also going over do make sure the tips to kind of remember as far as look at the school for your admission checklist. See exactly what is required. What you don't want to do is start submitting a bunch of stuff, or as far as we get it all the time. We get a document or we get an application with a bunch of things that we don't really need. And then there are things that we do need. And so this just delays the application, or just it makes it kind of understanding like what is going on with this particular student. So do understand kind of what the documents that are needed for this. And then like we're talking about with dates and deadlines. And then we always recommend contact us. Please contact us. We'd rather you be informed and then not informed. And like I said, you're sending stuff that we really don't need. Whereas it's a waste of your time and our time. So we do want you guys to be informed.
That I agree with. So some do's and don'ts, and it's really important for us to look at this, and especially when we're looking into something like a business degree, it's really important to kind of stay organized. So then you have room when you're already through the admissions process to ask more specific details about the program, about what things are offered for you within a major. So do talk with your sponsor. It's really important that we're able to get you that I-20, which is the qualifying paperwork that allows you to get your student visa. Pick a school that meets your needs. Attend university fairs. All school has fairs, just like the one you're on today, as well as information sessions that are particular to their admissions department. Look at your housing options. Are you going to be living on or off campus? Remember dates and deadlines. Talk to your admissions counselors. Look over your programs, and also give yourself enough time with everything going on with the embassy. So, for example, let's not leave our application to be completed in full 2 weeks before the start of classes. I'm always a fan of a month buffer zone, the absolute minimum. But again, give yourself some time to go through this process and know that we will be flexible with you as much as we can to help you through. Don't pick an institution based on others, pick it for you, but also references do help. So while don't make your assumptions of where you want to study with other people are doing, but reach out to your community, hear what other people have to offer. That's how you learn if something's a good fit for you. Don't let other people influence what you want to study, because ultimately you will change your mind to your own idea at the end of the day. Don't assume you will get admitted. Very big thing. not every school will accept you. Additionally, not every school will give you a scholarship, and not every school will automatically give you a visa. Don't overlook the cost of study abroad. And then also, again, don't apply right before the semester starts. We want to help you, but we gotta have the time to do it.
That's right. Yeah, it's so important to kind of understand and go back to don't be afraid to apply, but do understand that just because you have graduated high school or you graduated with a degree, that you're eligible to get into that program. Once again, we keep saying this. Please contact us. Let us know. But do understand that you do need to do a little bit of research because lots of times we will get a lot of emails that, hey, can I apply? Am I accepted? And a lot of things we can't necessarily just tell based off you saying, oh, I have this particular GPA. Am I accepted? Because there's other things that kind of go into the picture as far as what other documents do you have. Yeah, okay, based GPA, you're okay, but there may be something else out there that's needed that determines whether you're accepted or not. So that's really it. That's kind of our do's and don'ts. Go over this application process with you guys. It's really not that difficult to apply. I mean, anybody can push buttons, type in things and apply, but do understand that it does take, you do need to know kind of what's going on with that particular university to get a feel of what, am I going to be accepted or not? Or, you know, I would love to attend Harvard University or some other Ivy League type schools, but I may not get into that particular school because of such and such reasons. So do make sure that you have a variety of schools you're looking at and just kind of get a good feel once again.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll kind of go into our school and what our school is all about. And then we'll kind of leave you guys up for some Q&As to kind of give you some questions that you may have. So I'll kind of start us off. Once again, this is, I work for Oklahoma City University. And so if you are familiar with the United States, if not, that's okay. I have a map here. This is the map of the United States. We are called the state of Oklahoma. So a bunch of states within the United States. Oklahoma is where we are. We're located in Oklahoma City, so the downtown area of Oklahoma. So just like how Anna and I are very, very similar with universities, we are in the major metropolitan area of our city. And so Oklahoma City is the capital of Oklahoma. And so it is the largest city in the state of Oklahoma. Like I said, we are a private university. We were established in 1904, so we're not old, but we're not like super young. We're over 100 years old. So, and we've been at the same location for all that time. We've grown from one building, now we have multiple buildings. So we have 3,000 students, so you will get kind of that smaller type feel of a university, 70 plus undergraduates, 20 plus grads. We have, to kind of give you an idea of the diversity within our university, we have 43 plus countries, and this fluctuates from year to year, but we tend to average out about 43 students from all around the world. And right now we're about 200 plus population of international students. So we have a variety of programs. Yes, we have business programs. I wouldn't be here if we didn't have business programs. We have that at the graduate and at the undergraduate level. So your bachelor's and master's level. We have a variety of different programs. Like I said, we have 70 plus undergrad, 20 plus grad programs, and they can range from everything that you see here between STEM, humanities, nursing, dance, theater, music, law, all these type of programs. So we are technically, like I said, private liberal arts type university. One of the cool things about us is that we're even though we're in the centrally located downtown area, we have dormitories. So you can live on campus and we have cafeterias that you can get meals. But we also have housing that's kind of off campus. Literally, you basically walk across the street and you're back on campus. So right next to the campus. So good living arrangements for you. We understand you're traveling a long ways. You're leaving family and friends away. And so we try to connect you and kind of give you that home type feel. So that there's a lot that we can offer for you on campus living, and then meals and everything. So when I always talk about students about who we are, Oklahoma City University, I always mention two different things. One, the university as a whole, and then two, the type of program that you're going to be going into. And so as the university, sorry, one, the university is nationally ranked. Once again, I talked about how rankings and stuff like that could be important. This is it. So the university is ranked privately for, and you'll see kind of our little award stats there on your right-hand side. All of our programs are typically have national accreditation. So one of the highest accreditations. We do offer scholarships for international students, specifically for you. And these are scholarships that range in between $9,000 and $13,000. On top of that, we do have departmental scholarships that once you're here, you can stack what you've got already, your scholarship, and then you can get whatever additional scholarship with domestically. We also, with our graduate programs, we don't necessarily have scholarships, but what we've done is did a tuition reduction. So take the credit and we've reduced the per credit by $300. So this definitely makes us affordable for students and very competitive with our other people. And then, like I said, the university is in the downtown area. So very diverse districts and locations. So if you can't get your food on campus, if off campus, you can definitely find your regionally cultural ethnic foods that you normally eat in your country and stuff like that. And then, of course, we do have for the university multiple organizations, international organizations. And the reason why I have that in there is to kind of give you a feel that we are a very welcoming university towards internationals. You'll find out that a lot of Americans are very well connected, are very well wanting to connect with international students. And then our program. So within, we're talking about our business program, we are AACSB, which places us in the top 4.5% of all business schools worldwide. So that just gives you an idea of the type of quality that we're able to teach. Not only teach, but then move you on towards possible internships and job placement. We do tend to say that we personalize our education. So you do get the smaller class size. We try to keep it small for you so that you and the professors have this way of obviously graduating, but also this connection, which then the professors help you with job placement. Also, one of the cool things about us is that we are very well connected with businesses. And so we actually will bring business CEOs onto our universities and talk to the students, but we also bring the classroom to the businesses. And so you get this feel that could be a lot of big difference that gives you this more hands-on curriculum, more than just a book. And that professor just talking over a book, but this actually puts applicable curriculum within the business world. And then you're also literally working possibly with business on actual businesses with projects. This leads to the internship and the curriculums that we provide, that we give our students with internships. We have 92% rate within our business school as far as placing our graduates with the job. To give you an average, the average US school nationally to place students in jobs is at 42%. So we're well beyond that one. And then we also want our students to succeed in getting a job. So we do have a business student service center, which does give you professional development, resume writing, job interview, mock interviewing. Obviously, that company is seeking to try to, or seek you finding companies which you can go to. So all these things, we want you to be very, by the time you're graduating, by the time you're providing towards a job, you got that ability and you're not nervous about doing it. So I'll be real quick with this. This is just some of our application processes between, I have freshmen, but also transfer students, and then also graduate students. These are the difference. I can go more into this with you as far as here later on, or I can email you and kind of give you an idea of the application process. So this is what we ask for. And we do have conditional admissions, by the way, if you don't have English. So once again, this is kind of our grid as far as our classes, or as far as our tuition. You'll see the tuition per semester. This is what it is. We do block scheduling at the undergraduate level. So students get into 12 to 16 hours and it's the same price. So it's literally almost like you're getting a class for free. Also with our masters, I talked about how we did a tuition reduction. And so that's $300 off per credit. So you're not necessarily getting a scholarship, but you are in a sense, because you're getting a reduction off the per cost, and then your housing. So one cool thing about our office is that we help you through the application process. For graduate students, we help connect you to the department, and we help the department to review your application. But at the undergraduate level, we actually do the application itself. We do evaluate our transcripts, so we don't ask for you to go to an evaluation company to get your transcript evaluated. We can do that for you. And then, like I said, we can't guarantee that you're going to get a visa, and we can't necessarily communicate to the embassy per se, but we can assist and give you all your immigration documents and kind of work with you to prepare you for you to go to the embassy. And then, like I said, we can connect you to departments. So this is my information, and feel free to, email me or anything that you have. Now I'll kick it over to Anna.
Thank you, Erin. And on the other side, we have St. Francis College located in downtown Brooklyn in New York City. So St. Francis is a Franciscan-based university. You do not have to be faith-based in order to come to our school. All that truly means is that we base ourselves on Franciscan values: to dream, serve, and to achieve. We serve ourselves by serving our community. So we're a school that not only has a really strong academic and social presence in the city, but also a really big community service center. So if you're somebody who's looking for ways that you're going to be fulfilled academically, but also personally as well, St. Francis College truly is an amazing place to do that. Erin, can you go to the next slide, please? So some facts about us. We do have students from all over the world. We do have a lot of students that come in from the Caribbean and other parts of South America, but we also have several students from Australia, parts of Europe, and also Africa as well coming in. Additionally, we have 70 undergraduate programs where some of our biggest and most popular ones tend to be accounting, economics, finance, and business management, in which we have a course that's developed to go from the undergraduate to the graduate degree. So if you're somebody that's looking for a degree in business management or accounting, you can do everything in one place here at St. Francis. Additionally, we have on average, about 250 international students per year, but this year we have about 266, representing about 72 countries internationally. And we also have small classroom sizes. While we are a university that's New York City based, we are a small school with big dreams is kind of the way that we like to do it, where in each classroom, if you're looking for that one-on-one attention, you'll have a faculty to student ratio of 16:1, meaning that your professors and staff members at the school have the time and attention to devote to you throughout your academic journey. We're also an NCAA Division I sports team, meaning that we compete at the highest athletic level. So if you're somebody who's doing sports like water polo, soccer, track and fields, we're also a fantastic place for that. Next slide, please. So, and also a fun thing, we're moving. While we're still going to be located in downtown Brooklyn, our campus is moving buildings starting next fall. So September of this time next year, we'll be in a brand new building that's designed and customized for the student body. We're really committed to the ideas of diversity, equity, and inclusion at St. Francis. And in this new building, we're hoping to design and also provide resources for all of you as our St. Francis community gets a little bit bigger. So if you're looking forward to that, in a brand new building, everything's going to be sparkling new. Next page. And how do we make this possible? So the way that we do scholarship at St. Francis College is automatically upon acceptance, meaning that if you apply to our university, submit the admission documents, and I can go over what that looks like, you are automatically awarded scholarship upon acceptance. And we base them on kind of your performance academically. So if you're something that's considered a B student, so anything below are a 3.0-ish. We do a plan for you that includes tuition, room, meals, books, and insurance for $39,000 a year. But if you choose not to do that, not a problem. We offer $9,000 in scholarship for tuition, and everything in terms of your living expenses is up to you of how you choose to live off campus. So just to know that you have that option. Next page, please. We also have an A student. So same exact model, but guess what? You're getting $1,000 off. So instead of 39, it goes to 38. Same exact thing. If you choose not to take advantage of the all-in package, not a problem. We still offer you about $10,000 in scholarship. Next page. And if you're doing accounting, economics, or IT, guess what? Regardless if you're an A or B student, you get an overall package of $37,500 based on the program type. And again, if you choose not to do that, we offer more than 40% of our tuition off for you all coming in as an accounting, economics, or an information technology student. Additionally, we really try to set you up with internship opportunities and also our global internship opportunities as well, where some of our students have interned and ultimately worked at places like American Express, JP Morgan, Bloomberg, and also some other corporations there, and also some internationally that are plenty to list. I know that I just had a student from Brazil that, what was it? Magazine Luiza, one of the biggest firms, almost like the Walmart of Brazil. She was able to do an internship with them there, remotely, while she's here studying at St. Francis. So these are just some different ideas of things that you have available for you as potentially a business student here at the school. Next slide, please. Admissions requirements. What do you need to apply? We try to make it pretty easy at St. Francis. There's no fee for you to apply. It is simply filling out an application or sending it through the Common App, submitting your high school transcripts, ideally translated and evaluated. Ideally, they should just be in English. I just need to be able to read them. SAT scores are optional, meaning that we are an SAT optional school. You do not require an SAT or an ACT unless you are a nursing student and occasionally a student athlete. And proof of English proficiency in terms of a TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, PTE, or an ITEP exam. If you're from an English country or your institution previously spoke English, if you're a transfer student or from an American high school type of thing, we can waive an English requirement for you to make it a little bit easier through the process, as long as we're comfortable with an English interview to determine your level of proficiency. Next slide, please. With that being said, here's some contact information. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please email me at ateodoro@soc.edu. I would be your best point of contact, as well as messaging me on WhatsApp is the number that's listed there. I try to be as available as possible. And I really do hope to see some of you apply to St. Francis in the future. And does anybody have any questions? Feel free to write anything in the chat and we'll do our best to answer. All right. I see some students asking if they can apply for the January intake. Of course, I know that I'll speak for St. Francis and Aaron can speak about Oklahoma. St. Francis College is a rolling admission school, meaning that we accept students throughout the entire year, just depending on when you do apply. Do try to work with you to make sure that your term chosen is the one that we can have you start at. But yes, January intake is up and running. We would be very happy to have you here.
Yeah, that's right. At our particular school, we do have two intakes, which the one that's coming up recent though is our January intake, what we call our spring intake, and that is open still. And so students can start applying, continue to keep applying. Kind of like Anna was talking about, you will probably want at least a month buffer of time before that school starts, especially now, because that intake, you have different holidays that come about where the embassies could be closed. So and then you're also dealing with, they are already probably at a backlog of trying to funnel through students based off last year and with COVID. So do try to get your applications for at least a spring intake. And then our next one is for fall intake, which is not till August. And that one obviously is open right now, and you can apply whenever you feel like.
And for us at St. Francis College, our Spring and fall term are both open for application. So if you're looking to start for the January spring term intake, by all means apply. If you're looking to start fall of next year, I do highly encourage it because it's always good to be early on an application as opposed to a little bit later. As we wait for more questions to come in, I can offer some little bit helpful tips if you're looking for stuff within business. Ask yourself why you want to do business. Is it because you have an ultimate goal in mind? Do you want to open up a business? Are you like an organization or something? Are you just picking business because you've heard good things about it? None of those reasons are bad reasons. With a business degree opens you up to a lot. You don't necessarily have to work in a specific firm or have one solid idea. You can do a lot with a business degree, whether it's joining an organization, a corporation, a nonprofit, or for-profit business, or ultimately using that experience to open up something of your own. So just some things to keep in mind is what is the benefits for a business degree? You have a lot that you can work with. That's institutionally based. And what I mean by that, the university can set you up with different firms and internships, or also personally wise. What are different ways that you yourself are advocating for your academic and personal future through this degree?
I agree with all of that.
Does anybody have any other questions? I do know we have about 4 more minutes left. It does not have to be directly related to business, but if you have any questions, please do. This is your time for us to help you.
And then do feel free to email us. Lots of times you're like, oh, I should have thought of that, or I had that question. I just didn't quite know. Our emails are right there in the chat. So feel free to email us with any questions that you might have. We'll definitely help you.
Perfect. Thank you, Anna and Aaron, for all of the information today. It was very, very useful. And I hope everyone got what they came to get from this presentation. And we have a lot more time in the day, about an hour and a half left. So feel free to go into Anna and Aaron's booth to answer all of those questions. And like they said, email is really good to follow up if I can't remember a question right now as well. Any maybe final thoughts for students who maybe are, nervous, just as we are still in a pandemic situation, maybe how to navigate kind of where to go and how to do that during these uncertain times?
I'll jump in. Ask us. We know that it's complicated. We know that it's hard. I think the biggest first step that you can take is to try. I think everybody in this call probably feels a little bit nervous about applying, or if they can even do it. Other people have done it before, why not you? Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Take a chance on yourself to at least start applying. Everything else comes in turn. Don't worry about how you're going to make this happen just yet. Worry of saying, how am I going to answer that question if I haven't been submitting an application? Give yourself a chance, and then we are here to help you make that chance a possibility.
Amazing, amazing.
Yep.
Aaron, any final thoughts?
Yeah, so I agree with all that. You never know what's going to happen if you never take that first step. And that's kind of one of the things within the business field itself is people taking that first step. And so for you to never to apply or never to ask or never to do anything, then it's never going to happen. And one of the great also things about the university is that everybody's coping with COVID and everybody's having to adjust to that. And universities are doing a great job at adjusting and helping the students that are coming and the students that are here. So don't be afraid just because of what's going on, that there's going to be turmoil that's going to happen while you're here. The university is all universities are really taking these great steps. And so the process to apply could be the same, but you need to be, as a student, taking that proactive step and getting your degree and not just particularly waiting. So.
Awesome. And that brings us to the time. And thank you again for all all you did today with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.